All right, good evening. Welcome to The Edge at John Street. Your North Stars are taking on Warren Blue Devils. Game 4 of the IHSHL tournament. Top two teams advance into championship game next weekend. This coming weekend, the 21st or 22nd. Tied once. Yeah, they're our biggest foes. They're our biggest foes. Grab your evening beverage of choice and get ready to strap in for some exciting hockey action as your North Stars take on the Warren Blue Devils. I think they're Blue Devils. Otherwise, I don't know. All right, I'll be back shortly. All right, warm-ups are over. Teams huddled up. I'm going to take a second here and get zoomed in so I can bring you all the action as much as possible. All right, there we go. I think I got it. If not, somebody I'm sure will tell me. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. Get up-to-date action All right. Teams went back to their respective benches, getting ready for puck drop here. Game 4 of your playoffs. Currently, the North Stars have 3 victories. Warren with 2 victories, 1 loss. Easy math is you win, you move on. If we happen to lose, it's going to come down to a tiebreaker, and who knows what happens then. So we're going to try and pull this one out. Warren has been our arch nemesis. They've been leading the division that we play in. We have tied them. We have beat them once this season. Got Stanley, Gavin, Anthony, Patrick, and James. Looks like James got a haircut. His hair is not sticking out of his helmet. Puck goes down. Stanley wins it back to James. James comes up along the near side wall. Anthony drops it in. Stanley's going to go chase after it. Goes into the far side corner all the way to the hash marks. Gavin taps it down. Puts it down close to the net. Ends up going up the far side wall. Patrick grabs it just outside the wall. Taps it in. Stanley battles just inside the blue line. Gavin picks up the loose puck. Carries it down low. He's trying to center it up to Stanley. Oh, off the goalie and over to the near side corner. Back behind the net it goes, up the near side wall. Tipped away by Anthony for a second there. Loose puck gathered up by Stanley. Oh, Stanley's going to get called for an interference. Oh, yes, love the fans of Warren. Know how to call a game. Two-minute penalty coming up on Stanley for interference. North Stars going on the PK. Got Declan coming to the dot with Charlie, James, and trying to figure out the defenseman is OC. James goes back behind the net, sends it off the near side boards and all the way out. Charlie putting some pressure. Puck back behind the net. Comes up the near side. Sends the puck over to the far side wall. Stretching it out. Top of the circle. Shot, and Stoge catches that one in the glove. Big cheering section over here tonight. Thanks for coming out to John Street. Declan at the dot. Warren takes it up along the far side, trying to bring it through the circle, tipped away, and goes back into the corner, back behind the net, looking for somebody to pass off to. Comes all the way around, passes it over to the far side point, down to the bottom of the circle in the corners, back behind the net. In the near side corner. Up top point. Walks it down to the hash marks. Back up top of the circle. Calling for that backside. Shot goes just wide of the net. Andrew pokes it up the far side wall. Andrew gets it over to Declan. Declan clears it out. We're down to 1 minute left on the PK. Goalie stops it at the goal line. Andrew almost gets to the puck there. Warren has to hustle up. Puck comes over to the near side wall. Tipped away by Jasper. Picked back up by Warren. Goes down below the goal line. OC was trying to go for a hit. Laid up. Shot, kick, save. Tipped away there by James. Loose in the slot. Warren is able to whack it and hack it and get a goal in. At 12:53, taking advantage of their power play. Wins it back to James. James gets a pass over to Gavin on the far side. Crosses the blue line with it. Puts a shot on net. Goalie covers up the 5-hole. Covers up the puck. Stopping the clock here at 12:45. Stanley, Gavin, Anthony, James comes back to Aiden at the blue line. Aiden drops it down towards Gavin. Gavin at his feet. Battling with it. Kicks it over towards Anthony. Tipped away by the Warren. Warren send it back over behind the net and up the near side wall. Stopped at the hash marks by James. James pops it in the air. Ends up going over to the far side wall. Sent up. Aiden keeps it in. Puts a shot. Goes off the far side post. Back down low to Stanley. Stanley circling around. Shoves it in through the middle. Warren takes that one away. Bounces it off the far side wall. Grabbed up at the blue line. Kicked in through center. Coming rushing through. Aiden with a good poke check. Sends it over to the near side. Gavin on the hustle. Coming through center ice. Comes off his stick. Grabbed up. Subbed back into the Warren zone. Just on the opposite side of the goalie. Warren back into the corner. Over on the near side. Off the boards and into center ice. James grabs it. Taps it back towards Declan. Tipped back towards James at the blue line. Aiden looks up. Gets a pass over to Declan. Declan catches it. Comes up through the blue line. Goes between the set of legs. Up along the near side wall. Picked away there by Warren. Comes back. Sean gets it. Sends it up to the blue line. Offsides on Warren. Declan makes his way up to the dot. Sean near side. Charlie on the far side comes back to OC. OC rockets it over to Patrick. Patrick stops, surveys, bounces it off the wall. Tipped up. Patrick grabs the loose puck. Crosses the blue line with it. Gets held up as he crossed the blue line. Just out of Sean's reach, but OC grabs it. Penalty coming up on Warren. Throwing that knee out there. Talk about a wild hit. Reckless abandonment for the body there. That's how people get hurt these days. 11:01. North Stars go on the power play. Puck goes top of the circle, grabbed up by Anthony. Over towards Patrick. Patrick trying to muscle it around. Anthony with the shot. And it's in the back of the net. Tying the game up here at 10:54. Taking advantage of that power play. Jasper comes up to the dot. Aiden and Max out there. Shot goes off OC and back behind the net and over to the far side corner. Andrew seals off the corner, goes up through the circle. Back up top of the circle, kicked away. Grabbed up by Andrew off of his stick and over to the near side wall. OC sends it up the wall. Stopped by Warren. Tipped away. Walking it in. Big deflection there by Doge. Max sends it up and out of the zone. Not sure why that's not icing. He's got to be in front of the center line. We'll take a call. Referee class later. OC trying to rush it across the blue line. Stopped by Warren. Comes up the far side wall. Andrew pokes it away. Aiden presses them up against the wall. Rocketed down low by Max. Chasing after it. Puck goes up. Takes a funky bounce. Aiden stops it for a second there. Kept in on the blue line. Ends up coming back to James. James hits Jasper. Jasper goes across the blue line. Loses it against the far side wall. Warren kicks it back into center ice. Up the far side. Grabbed up by Aiden Laurie. Aiden sends a pass up.
Come on, you could have played it.
A little bit too far, and that will be an icing call at 9:16. Dominic Stephanopoulos at the dot. Goes off a boot and over to the near side wall. James sends it up to the other Dominic. Dominic Stephanopoulos goes up, crosses the blue line with it. Lost the handle of it at the top of the hash marks. Goes over to the far side. Aiden grabs it. Takes a shot. Tipped in front. Comes back up. And through center ice. James grabs it. Sends a pass up towards Dominic and Dominic. James back behind the net with it. Up to the far side wall. James still battling for it. Tipping it up the wall. Puck goes down into the far side corner. Puck goes across the bow and over to the near side hash marks. Up along the boards. Interference!
Come on!
We're watching the same game here. Puck comes all the way out and down. That's going to be an icing call. Offensive zone draw here for your North Stars. Throwing my disclaimer out there. I am a dad. I am a fan. I get excited about the game, and I carry it through the broadcast. So that's where I'm at. Stanley at the dot. Got Anthony top of the circle. Gavin to the far side. Wins it back to Anthony. Anthony pulls it back, tipped away, and ends up coming back into the North Star zone. Patrick's going to try to get there. Tips it away from Warren. Goes into the near side corner with it. Couple of bodies flying around. Puck goes in through the slot, grabbed up by Anthony. Sends it over to Gavin. Gavin trying to hit Stanley. Taken away by Warren. Warren sends that one in on Stoge. Off of the paddle and over to the far side hash marks. Back behind the net. Patrick gets it over to Anthony. Anthony taps it up to the blue line. Sent back in. Warren's got a tag up. Patrick goes back into the corner, grabs the puck. Stops, turns around. Shovels it up towards Anthony. Anthony grabs it, comes through the circle. Gives it up towards Stanley. Stanley's going to cross the blue line. Goes down low. Loses the handle of it at the hash marks. Patrick steps up. Lofts one back down to Patrick. Oh, to Stanley. Stanley gave it to Gavin. Gavin takes a shot. I thought it was going over the shoulder, but it ended up going over the top of the net. Warren on the rush. Patrick. Good job there by Gavin. Sends the puck back into center ice. OC grabs the puck. Looks up. Sends it in through middle, and that's going to be an icing call. Get a full line change coming out. 6:53 here to go in the first. Score's tied 1-1. Zacklin at the dot. Shot goes wide and all the way around back up to the point. Warren can't control it. Sean chasing after it. Almost had it. Zacklin keeps it at the blue line. Waits for everybody to get on side. Charlie dumps it into the far side corner. It's going to take a ride along the wall over to the near side hash. Sean blows the tire. James picks it up. James puts a shot down. Gets kicked in off the far side or near side post. Sean carrying it down into the corner. Sends it through the middle. Andrew's shot goes off a shin pad and over to the far side corner. Charlie puts it back down towards Sean. Sean's going to go into the near side corner. Poke it around. Oh! Warren picks the puck up, touches it.
2-10. It's from behind.
Not sure how that wasn't a 2-10 as he was boarded from behind. Stanley at the dot. Anthony, Patrick, Gavin, and James out there. Patrick in the near far side corner. Stanley with the puck. Sends it back out to Gavin. Gavin walks the line. Gets it over to James on the near side. James goes in with the shot. Just misses and goes all the way over to the far side point. Tapped at the blue line by Gavin. Warren kicks it back into the far side corner for the North Stars. Gavin picks the puck up, goes back behind Stoge. Clears out some space, gets some room. Comes through center ice. Goes around Anthony. Gavin, top of the circle. Flips over the top of his stick. Back into center ice. James sends it up. Anthony misses it. Ends up going back into the North Star zone. Got 1:10 to go here. Puck goes all the way up to the blue line. Stopped by Warren. Gavin with the puck. Gets it over towards the net. Puck goes across the bow. Gotta stay. Can you take a seat or move over to the side?
We're the guests. We don't need to hear this on our side.
Well, then go stand over there.
No, I won't.
Go.
Go on your side.
I'm right at center ice here. I'm right at center ice. You're just gonna stand up and block the view. Okay. Be a complete tool. Okay, then leave. In the near side corner up the hash marks, comes back up to James at the blue line, keeps it over to Anthony, just goes a little bit wide. Back behind the net and over to the far side corner. Lofted in through center ice. Back in on Stoge, he paddles it. Anthony sends it over to the far side blue line. Hey, don't talk to her that way at all, ever.
Don't even talk to me, pal.
Do me a favor.
Talk to me, or I'm
I don't
rip your
care.
head off.
You think so?
I know so.
Go over on the other side if you don't want to hear my voice. You're just being a complete jackass.
Back off.
You got your hands on me, right?
Back off.
You got your hands on me.
You don't want to fight me.
Do not talk to my mother-in-law that way. Ever.
Talk to me.
I don't care. Get you off.
Come on, it's not worth it, Frank.
Make your move.
Hey, hey.
No moves. No moves.
I will rip your eyes out just like your brain.
Oh, stop it. You guys, stop it. You're adults.
Hey, Art! Hey! You need to go on your side. No, this is your side. This is the best. No, this is the best. You need to go on your side.
Yeah, I'm fine. Puck comes up along the near side. Warren taps it back down behind the net. Aiden puts it into the near side corner. Warren can't handle it. Comes back in through center ice. Back over to the far side, top of the circle. Pass gets deflected. Back down through the slot. Picked up by Max. Comes off the near side board. At the blue line. Aiden's pass gets tipped over, picked up by Warren. Warren crosses over, goes off the top of the slot. Shot deflected by Stoge. In through center ice, grabbed up by Warren. Comes across top of the circle. Laid out in front. Stoge picks up the puck. Hey! Cheap shit by Warren. Hey, he was talking to your mom. Soj gets his gear back on after making the adjustment. Referee's talking at center ice to the captains. It's all your fault, Robbie. All right. Offsetting penalties, and then one penalty on Aiden. Puck down at the far side circle. Stanley battling for it. Picked up by Andrew. Sends it off the glass up to the blue line. Horn. Don't know if the clock started. Nope, did not. Trying to get clarification on the penalties there over on the scorebook. Oh, is that going on Facebook later? Yeah, I might have to cut that segment out. Nobody fighting. Nobody fighting.
Everyone's good?
Everybody's good. You can talk to our head of security right there. I asked the gentleman if he could take a step down because he was right in the camera angle, and he turns around, looks at me, says he doesn't want to hear my voice. I said, well, if that's the case, then you can go over to the other side of the stands where you won't hear me. This is the North Stars stands right here where we're able to broadcast from. So I do live streaming. I do the entire game. He was not happy with that. Had some choice words for my mother-in-law. I didn't like that, so I went up and I stood in front of him. I honestly, at the point, I don't remember. Had some choice words for her, and I didn't appreciate that going towards my mother-in-law, so I stepped up towards him. He grabs my hands and puts my hands up like this. And that's when our security guard came in. He grabbed me and had my hands up in the air like this. I do not want to press charges. I just don't want him to get in my camera angle. I can give you my ID if you want to take it now. Referees are still trying to sort out the penalties over there through game sheet. Stanley at the dot, gets it over to Anthony. Anthony sends it out of the zone. Goes on to the goalie. Good pressure there by Anthony in the far side corner. Tipped away by the goalie, back behind the net. Picked up by Anthony, goes over to the far side corner. Up the wall, back over to the near side. Anthony gets taken down. James lofts this one up into the far side. Stopped by the goalie at the blue line. Warren comes rushing up the near side wall. Stopped at the blue line by James. Warren at the near side hash marks. Sending it through, tipped away. James lofts this one all the way down. Goes back behind the goalie. Stops it. Stanley putting some pressure, goes over to the far side corner. Tipped at the blue line. Warren still on the rush. Coming all the way across. Tipped away there by OC. Goes into the corner. Stanley pushes them into the boards. Tipping it away. Up to the far side hash marks. Grabbed up by Stanley. Stanley gets his stick lifted. Back against the boards again. Tipped away by James in front of the net. Goes up to the far side hash marks. Goes down behind the net. Over to the near side corner. Declan trying to get there. Poke checks it. Ends up going back behind the net. OC trying to get there. Grabs the puck. Shovels it up and out of the zone. Going to clear it out. Got 15 seconds left on the power play or penalty kill. Picked up by Declan behind the net. Left in front for Gavin. Gavin puts it off the goalie and into the near side corner. All the way back up to James at the blue line. Ends up going down into the corner. Goes over to the far side. Got 20 seconds to go here in the period. Warren stops it at the blue line. Gavin catches the puck. Goes around one. Puts the shot off the pads. Picks the rebound back up. Goes up behind the net. There we go. Puck ends up coming back into the North Star zone. And that is the horn and end of your first period. Back up to the blue line. Warren keeps it down low. In the corner for James. Kicks it over towards Sean. Sean taps it around. Warren grabs it at the far side hash marks, circling it around. Shot goes high up above Stoge. Picked up off the near side wall. Pass through the slot. One-timer off the mark as Stoge kicks that one into the wall. Warren back around. Cycling through. Picked away. James grabs the puck. Back into the corner for Warren. Puck's in the back of the net. Getting on the board at 14-17 here in the second period. Stanley makes his way up to the dot with Anthony and Gavin. Goes back over to OC on the far side wall. Sends it over to Andrew. Andrew on the near side. It's back over to OC. OC surveys. Gets it over towards Gavin along the near side wall. Gavin drops it in on net. Just misses the goalie. Picked up by Anthony. Down to the goal line again. Stanley stops it at the hash marks. Puts it across behind the net and over to the near side corner. Oh, Warren sending it up the wall. Tipped away. Grabbed up by Anthony. Puts it on net. Ends up coming over to the near side hash marks. Off a couple of players. Kept at the blue line. Gavin shovels it over to the far side wall. Anthony chasing after it. Sent all the way down and out by Warren. That'll be a icing penalty or icing delay. Offensive zone draw for your North Stars. I'm behaving. Jasper at the dot goes over to the far side corner. Aiden lets it go up towards James. Shoveled into center ice for Aiden. Gets it off a boot. Max trying to battle for it. Ends up going into the corner. Max with the puck. Going to go back behind Stoge. Comes up the near side wall. Goes off a stick. Aiden taps it into center ice. Picked up by James. James comes across the blue line with it. Top of the slot. In the back of the net for James! Tying it up here at 12:55. James. Jacqueline comes to the dot with Charlie and Sean. Charlie picks up the loose puck, gets it across the blue line, taps it over towards Sean's direction, picked up by Warren. Warren comes up the far side wall. Stopped there by OC. OC saucers one over here to Charlie. Charlie grabs it off the wall, drops it in down low, goes back behind the net. Picked up by Warren in the corner. Sean trying to get a spot, and he does. Gets it back up to OC. OC takes the shot, gets tipped up high. Picked up by Warren through the slot, comes over to the near side. Crossing the blue line. Shot on Stoge, catches that one in the midsection. Stop and play here at 12:21, 2-2 tie. Puck sends over to the far side wall by OC. Warren keeps it down low. Tipped away by, I believe that's Dominic. Or, yeah, that's Dominic. Dom putting some pressure. Adrian taps it away. Picked up by Warren. Warren dances at the blue line. Comes back out of the zone. Grabbed up at center ice. It's going to go back behind the net. Picked up by OC. OC sends it around the wall towards Adrian. Adrian's centering pass to Dom gets tipped away. Warren comes up the near side wall. Dances around, puts a shot. Stoge takes that one off the shoulder. Puck goes up high. Picked up by Dom. Sends it up the wall towards the other Dominic. Comes out of the zone. Dom puts it into center ice. Warren at the blue line with it. Dusting it off, dancing around. Puts it up to the blue line. Dom sends it towards Adrian. Back in through the middle. OC kicks it away. Puck ends up going over to the far side corner. Grabbed up by Sean. OC's gonna come up the boards. Gets around one. Got a 2-on-1. Oh, pass gets deflected by a boot and over to the near side wall for Warren. Loose puck. Dom sends it back into center ice. Back in through the middle. Warren crosses the blue line. Near side hash marks. Goes across. Hits off the near side post. In front. Tipped over to the far side hash marks. Patrick deflects that one with a thigh pad. Stoge tips that one over the top of his head. Warren comes back. North Star is going to go for a change. Comes up the near side wall. Stopped at the hash marks. Up to the blue line. Goes all the way down. Got a referee's arm up. Waved off as it hits the goal line. Gavin dances around one. Carries it across the blue line. Near side hash marks. Walks it in. Bottom of the circle. Takes the shot. Goalie reaches down. Covers it up. Stops the clock at 9:59. Stanley at the dot. Wins it over towards Gavin. Gavin taps it into the corner. Stanley chasing after it. Back behind the net. Seals the wall. Picked up by Warren at the blue line or goal line. Andrew putting some pressure on him. Rubbins racing. Puck comes off the backboard and all the way around to the near side hash marks. Tapped up to the blue line. Warren pushes it down low towards Stoge. Kick save. Anthony with the puck. Sends it up to Gavin. Gavin goes away from traffic. Gets it over to Stanley. Stanley carries it up the near side wall. It's taken down from behind. Puck goes up to the blue line. Kept in there by Anthony. Anthony's going to get called for a hook. (9:11) in the second period. North Star is going on the PK. Got Declan at the dot. Declan wins it back to the corner. Grabbed up by Warren, comes up to the point. Point walks the line. Puts it down low. Stoge with the blocker. Top of the slot. One-timer from the far side. Gets airmailed and comes all the way around back up to the blue line. Down to the hash marks. Tipped away by OC. Goes back behind the goal line. Up to the far side wall. Point walks the line. Takes the shot. Goes just a bit wide. Tipped away by James, goes into the near or far side corner, kicked up towards Charlie. Charlie grabs the puck, sends this one all the way out and down. It's actually on net, so goalie's got to play it. Stopping the clock at 8:30. Jasper comes up to the dot. Got Sean on the far side. James is going to keep it in at the blue line. Puts a shot across the bow and ends up coming up the near side wall. Andrew, top of the circle, puts it down through the slot, grabbed up by Warren. Got 1:05 left on the PK. Warren crosses the blue line. Takes a funky bounce off that back wall, grabbed up. Sent out sailing into the Warren bench. Sean makes his way to the dot. Wins that one back towards James. James sends it around the wall. Jasper's going to come up to the point, try to poke it away. Jasper gets it. Going 2-on-1, gets it over to Sean. Sean takes the shot. Buried in the middle of the goalie. Nice pressure, nice job, other boys. Got a 2-2 tie here at 7:54 to go in the second period. Warren grabs it from the goal line. Tipped. OC's coming back. Swats it away. Picked up by Sean. Sean lost this one all the way down. Goes off the back wall. 30 seconds left on the PK. Jasper with some good pressure. Puck goes off the far side wall. Carried across the blue line. OC with the puck, sends it up top of the circle. Ends up going down. Stoge with the big block and save. I mean, blow the whistle, stop the play. It's going to stop that chaos in front of the net like that after the puck. But if they can't see it, they got to blow the whistle. Stanley huddles everybody up. Still got a penalty, 8 seconds left. 7 seconds left. Stanley at the dot, ties him up, comes up the near side wall. A lot of poking around at the blue line there. Gavin comes away with it. Pickpocketed by Warren, goes across the blue line. Penalties now over, back to full strength, 5-on-5. Coming back up the near side wall. Stanley with some good pressure, back behind the goal line. Back behind the net. Up the far side, off the referee. Anthony delivers a pass up to Gavin. Gavin taps it up to the blue line. Stopped at the blue line, picked up by Warren. Comes over here to the near side. James gets it up to Gavin. Gavin comes in. Top of the circle, takes a shot, just goes a little bit wide. Grabbed up by Anthony on the far side wall. Warren puts it through the middle. Comes up near side. James putting some good pressure. Puck goes across the bow and over to the far side circle. Picked up by Warren. Goes back across traffic. Jasper has the puck. Trying to split the D. Decides to pull back at center ice. Gets it over towards James, who dumps it in. Back behind the net. Warren stretches the pass out. Great hit there by Patrick. Sends the puck in sailing, and that will be an icing call on the North Stars. .552 tie game, 2-2. Warren with the puck, top of the blue line. Dryden going down low. Tips it over the shoulder. Warren breaking the tie here at 5:45. Just went over Stoge's shoulder. Jasper makes his way up to the dot with Max and Aiden, OC and Andrew. Warren goes off the wall, sends it back down behind the net. Picked up by OC. OC sends it up to the blue line. Stopped there by Warren. Warren top of the circle. Jasper trying to get a hold of the puck. Grabbed up by Aiden. Sends it back into center ice. Going to be corralled up by Warren. Warren circling around. Good pressure by Max. Max tipping it around at the blue line. Grabbed up by Andrew. Andrew carries it down. Takes the slash. Puck goes into the corner. Warren sends it all the way around to the far side blue line. Stopped by OC. OC lost the handle of it. Warren trying to push it through. Gets it across the blue line. Top of the circle. Dusted it off. Shot gets tipped and goes into the protective netting. Dom wins it back towards Aiden. Aiden sends it around to the far side wall. Back down to the corner. James is going to pick it up. Sends it around over towards Adrian. Dom coming in to help out. Tipped away. Ends up still in the corner. Aiden grabs the puck. Sends it up. Tipped. Touched. Andre coming up. Grabs it at the far side hash marks. Centers it up towards Dom. Dom goes back behind the goal line with it. Puck was loose in front of the slot. Shot by Sean. Gets deflected. Comes over to the near side hash marks. Grabbed up by Warren. Warren back behind the goal line. Warren with the puck. Goes across the blue line. Puts the top of the circle. Ends up coming over the near side wall. Stoge blocks it. Gets it up towards Adrian. Adrian tips it up into center ice. Sean with some pressure. Puck comes up the near side wall. Bounces off the wall. Grabbed up by Aiden. Sends it back a little bit. Goes in through center ice. Sean goes between the legs. Grabbed up by Warren. Goes off the far side wall. Stopped the blue line. Grabbed up by Declan. Declan carries it across. Charlie comes over to the near side hash marks. Grabs the puck. Dances around one. Puts it through the center. Grabs up by James. James puts a shot just wide. Comes all the way back out to Aiden. Aiden turns around. Tries to take a shot. Picked up by Warren. Poke check. Top of the slot. Goes down low. James puts it off the boards. Charlie puts it on net. James keeps it in. Puck goes up high, swatted down by Warren. Off the glass, in through center ice. Picked away, top of the slot, goes off of a stick. Can't throw the puck though. But I have seen that in the NHL game. He didn't have a closed fist, though. If he had an open hand, it wouldn't have been a penalty or delay a game, but North Stars trail by one, 2-3 at 2:34 in the second period. We'll be coming up on an ice cut Stanley wins it over to Patrick. Patrick puts it up to the top of the circle. Gavin goes off the glass, and it goes down into the Warren zone. Off the near side boards. Warren retreats a little bit. Anthony with some pressure. Gavin picks the pocket, carries it in. Far side circle, walks it in, takes the shot. Goalie is right there to catch it. Stopping the clock at 2:13. Stanley at the dot. Gavin near side. Anthony top of the circle. Patrick and James. Anthony with a shot off the far side post. Ends up coming over to the near side corner. Warren pushes it up to the hash marks, up to the blue line, grabbed up by Patrick. Patrick gets it over towards OC. OC crosses the blue line, takes a shot. Blocker saved by the goalie. Picked up at the blue line. Face off out of the zone. Coach Jacqueline trying to get some direction over there as to what the call was. Stanley at the dot. Wins it down, grabbed up by Warren in the far side corner. Got 1:45 here to go in the second period. Puck goes up the far side, grabbed up by OC just outside the blue line. Warren tapping it back into the zone. OC is still battling. Loose puck on the far side wall, grabbed up by Warren, puts it down low. Stoge.
More like slashing.
But yet it's okay when they do it to us down on this end. Okay. Just want to make sure we're all watching the same game here. Referees don't want to call the game correctly. Call it incorrectly for both teams. Stanley at the dot, wins it back into the corner. OC gets it, goes off of a leg. Tapped up through the slot, grabbed up by Gavin, bounces it off the boards. That's offsides, but not called.
Offside.
Pat blows up to the blue line. Stanley at the far side circle, shot. Gavin. Hit. Puck went all the way across the goal line there. Goal ended up coming off its mounts. Penalty on Warren. .105 left in the period. 2 minutes on the power play here. Stanley goes to the dot. Patrick on the near side. Anthony on the far side. Stanley wins it over to the near side. Goes into the corner. Warren comes out with it. Comes in through center ice. Sends it over to top of the slot. Pickpocketed there by Anthony. Goes over to the far side hash marks. Picked up by James. Gets it over towards Gavin. Gavin's going to grab it off the near side wall. Gavin loses the handle of it. Ends up pushing it forward. Grabs it in front of Patrick. Carries it down low. Centering pass broken up by Warren. Warren sends this one sailing. Goes all the way to the far side corner. James is going to go back. We're under 30 seconds in the second period. James taps it up. Gavin grabs it at the blue line. Couldn't get a whole handle of it as the puck was bouncing around on the stick there. Warren sends it off and into the bench. $16.1 to go here. $1:11 left on the power play. Patrick goes off. All right, Declan makes his way up to the dot. Got Patrick on the near side, Charlie on the far side. OC and James comes up top of the circle for Charlie. Charlie takes the shot, gets tipped, ends up coming over the near side corner. Warren sends it up to the blue line. Tapped away before Warren's able to cross. OC with the puck, takes the shot just a bit wide, and that will be your intermission break as we go to an ice cut. All right, teams are making their way back out to the ice, stretching those legs, getting loose after a nice little ice cut. Getting ready to start the third period here. North Stars trail by 1. Fresh, clean sheet of ice. We got 55 seconds on the power play to go. So we'll be starting off on the power play. All right, fresh set of legs. Start the third period. Stanley comes up to the dot. Anthony to the near side. Gavin to the far side. Push forward. Anthony blocks it. Ends up sending it in down deep. Back behind the net it goes. Grabbed up by Stanley. Stanley bounces it off the boards to Gavin. Gavin looking around. Sends it up to the top of the point for James. Comes back into center ice. Gavin gets it. Sends it over to Patrick. Coming through center ice. Anthony skips over it. Lost it at the top of the slot. Stanley in the far side corner. Back behind the net. Trying to get it over towards Anthony. Warren picks it up. Presses it up against the wall. Stanley trying to poke it around. 20 seconds left on the power play. Anthony grabs it. Goes off a stick. Back over towards Stanley. Back up to the top of the blue line. Gavin brings it in down low. Got another penalty coming up on North Stars. It's in the back of the net for Anthony. Fed from Gavin. Tying the game up at 14:08. Taking advantage of the power play and the delayed penalty. Back to 5-on-5 action here. All tied up at threes at 14:08 in the third.
Let's go, North Stars!
Oh no, the penalty is assessed. Still on the power play is your North Stars. Stanley comes up to the dot, wins this one back to James. James kicks it up, gets it over to Patrick. Patrick looks up, tries to deliver a pass over to Stanley, gets cut off by Warren. Warren comes up, top of the slot. Shot goes off the backside wall. At the goal line, shot gets kicked away. Pass from Gavin gets blocked away. Gavin regroups, gathers up the puck, comes up through center ice, sees 3 Warrenville players, carries it down low, goes over to Stanley on the near side. Stanley at the bottom of our goal line, spinning around, looking for somebody, gets it over to Anthony, tipped away, ends up bouncing puck up towards James. James sends it back behind the net.
Come on! Yeah, that's a rough! That's a rough!
Yeah, he even claps like a pussy. Sorry. Sean up the far side wall with the puck. Carries it down low, drops it up on the far side. Warren goes through center ice, tipped away at the last minute. Grabbed up by Sean. Got 45 seconds on the power play. Sean gets it over to Patrick. Patrick goes through traffic. Gets it back up to James. James, top of the circle, gets it over towards Sean on the far side circle. Back to James, top of the slot. Takes the shot, and it's in the back of the net! North Stars taking the lead at 12:36 in the third period. Declan comes up to the dot. Puck comes over to the near side. OC goes off the glass towards Sean. Sean gets it up to the blue line. Declan picks it up, carries it across, dishes it over to Sean on the near side circle. Shot gets deflected and goes over to the far side hash marks. Grabbed up by Charlie, sends it back out to the point. Shot by James. Caught by the goalie. Jasper, Max, and Aiden come out. OC and James out there on D. Big Stojan net. Goes back behind the goal line. Warren sends it up around the near side, over to the near side hash marks. Stopped by Aiden. Top of the circle, grabbed up by Max. Max takes a shot, just goes wide and over to the far side boards. Kept that by James. James back down to Max. James picks it back up, tries to go off the backside of one of the Warren players. Bouncing puck comes to the blue line, kicked out of the zone. Warren sends it in, delayed offside. Everybody's got to tag up as OC comes around the net. Delivers a pass over towards Max. Tipped by Warren for a split second there. Max picks it up, toe drags around, puts it through the slot. Grabbed up by Warren. Warren puts it through out of the reach, and that goes all the way down for an icing call. Stopping the clock at 11:36. North Stars up 4-3. Stanley comes to the dot. Gavin to the far side. Anthony to the near side. Andrew and OC out there on defense. Warren carries it back behind the net. Drops it into the far side corner. Decides to come back around the net and over to the near side hash marks. Picked up and sent up to the blue line. Anthony stops it. OC battles at the blue line. Keeps it in. Tips it down low. Grabbed up by Stanley. Stanley walks it in. Takes the shot. Goes off the glass on the far side. Sent into center ice. Bouncing puck over Andrew's stick. Andrew comes back, sends it up to the blue line out of the zone, carried in. Grabbed up by Gavin over to Stanley. Stanley gets across center ice, drops it in down low. Goes back behind the net, picked up by Warren. Stanley putting some pressure, steals the puck back behind the net. Try to get a pass off, gets tipped up the far side. Splits the D, takes a roll, got an arm up, and got icing.
Let's go, North Stars!
Dominic Adrian out there right now. Blocking the puck, goes off the near side glass and through center ice. Aiden steps up, pokes it away, takes a big hit. Goes up the far side wall. Dominic tapping it away. Tipped away, goes back behind the net. Into the protective netting. Stop and play. .20 to go here in the third period. Far side dot face off. Declan comes in with Sean James. Warren grabs it. Picked up, send up to the top of the slot. Sean sends it over towards Charlie. Charlie's going to grab it off the wall. Kick it to the top of the circle. Warren kicks it out into center ice. Grabbed up by Aiden. Sends it off the referee's backside. Grabbed up by Charlie. Charlie crosses the blue line. Puts a shot. Gets tipped by the goalie. Playing that one haphazardly, but ends up reaching back and drops down on top of the puck. Declan at the dot, wins it over to Charlie. Charlie puts it on net. Sean gets tied up, couldn't get a clean shot, drops it back behind the net. Charlie's going to go poke away at it. Back behind the net, over to the far side corner. Up to the blue line. Warren comes over far side. James turns around, blocks the passing lane. Warren circling around, top of the slot. Takes the shot, puts it in the back of the net, ties the game up here at fours. .9:32 left in the third period. Jasper, Aiden, and Max out there at the forwards. James and OC. Puck goes to the blue line. Sent in Salen. Got an icing being called. Jasper at the dot. Aiden near side. Max far side. James and OC back on D. Big Stoge in net. Puck goes down. Comes up along the near side wall. Tapped and into the stands. .9:23 here to go. A tie game. 4-4. Jasper pushes it into the near side corner, up the wall. Aiden trying to keep it in. Goes to James. James penalty coming up on the North Stars. 9:17. James and OC stay out there. Anthony and Stanley come out. James grabs the puck, goes back behind the net, goes into the far side corner, stops, tries to bury it up, gets it over to Anthony. Anthony goes off the wall, all the way down. Stanley chasing after it. Comes over to the near side hash marks. Warren stops it just before the blue line, sends it over to the far side. Crossing. Shot gets blocked by James. Top of the circle. Couldn't get a clean shot. Stanley sends the puck out sailing on net, so goalie's got to play it. Puck goes over to the far side wall. Up to the near side. Warren stretching the puck, stretching the ice rink out. Point blank shot. Goes a little bit wide and off the back net, or backboards. Stopped at center ice by Warren. Stanley comes off. Declan comes on. Top of the slot. Stoge blocks it. Paddles it over to the near side corner. Grabbed up by OC in the slot. OC shovels it up and back into center ice. Warren regroups. Comes over to the near side. Anthony sends it in. OC sends it off a player. James grabs the puck, sends it down.
That's interference.
Puck comes in through the middle. Goes over to the far side. Off of a boot, top of the slot. Kick save there by Stoge. Into the stands there by OC.
You okay?
Stoge took a funny fall on that one. He stretched out really wide on that one. I think he might have fallen a little funny. Yeah. Stoge shaking it off. Gavin and Declan along with James and OC out there. Got 25 seconds left on the PK. Warren comes up to the dot. 7:41 left in the game. All tied up at 4s. Puck goes down. One to the top of the circle. Shot gets deflected. Comes over the top of the circle. Declan kicks it out of the zone. Gavin chasing after it. Back behind the net, causes some chaos, goes up to the far side hash mark. Warren goes back around. Warren comes through center. Goes over to the far side dot. Penalty's over. Puck goes across the crease and over to the far side corner. Jaspers comes back on as that fifth attacker. Warren with the puck down low. Carries it over to the far side hash marks, back up to the top of the circle, puts it up top of the slot, tries to put a shot down. Stoge got screened, and it ends up in the back of the net. Warren takes the lead. I wouldn't be so proud of that one, but 6:57 to go. North Stars trail by 1. Jasper, Aiden, and Max come out with Aiden and Andrew on D. Push to the blue line. Andrew grabs it, trying to get a pass over to Max. Tipped away by Warren. Andrew with the puck. Sends it off the glass. Stopped by Warren. Puck ends up coming back into the near far side corner. Aiden's going to get there. Sends it back behind the net and up the near side wall. Stopped at the blue line. Tipped away. Aiden gets it over to Jasper. Jasper goes into the zone. Aiden grabs it. Centers up a pass. Tipped away. Ends up going all the way back down. Up the far side wall. Andrew's going to grab it at the hash mark. Sends it off the boards. Just past the referee. Centering pass up towards Aiden. Aiden in the near side. Put a shot on net. Blocker save. Back behind the goal line. Lofted up into center ice. All going to have the distance. Got the arm up by the referee. And that is icing on Warren.
North Stars.
North Stars trail by 1 at 5:54. Stanley comes up to the dot. Gavin on the far side. Anthony on the near side. James and OC comes back to Gavin. Gavin takes a shot just off the blocker. Picked up by Warren. Sends it into the corner. Gavin blocks it at the hash marks. Ends up coming back around to the near side. James steps up. Bounces up high. Warren kicks it into center ice. Anthony's going to come back, pick it up. Stop, turns around. Sends a pass over to OC. OC shovels it up into center ice. Grabbed up by Warren. Warren sends it down on Stoge. Paddles it over to the far side corner. Grabbed up by Anthony. Poke checking it around. Grabbed up by OC at the bottom of the circle. Sends it around the boards. Warren comes in, steps up, takes it at the hash mark. Stanley battling forward along the half boards. Tapped up to the blue line. Down low, grabbed up by Stanley. Warren with it, centering it up, goes back behind the net and over to the near side corner. OC grabs the puck, comes up near side, pushes it around one. Icing being called. .450 to go here in the game. North Stars trail by 1. Declan at the dot. Sean and Charlie out there. OC grabs it, sends it back around over to the far side. Charlie's going to try to get there. Warren stops it in front of the players' bench. Comes up top of the slot, grabbed up by OC. OC delivers a pass up towards Sean. Sean's going to get across the blue line. OC keeps it in the zone. Turns around. Dusts it off. Shot gets deflected and goes into the protective netting in the far corner.
Go North Stars!
Declan walking up to the dot. Waits for Sean to get set. Goes into the near side corner. Warren sends it up the boards. Sean stops it at the hash marks. Sends it back down to Declan. Back behind the goal line. Dropped at the top of the slot. Splits the D. Stoge paddles it over to the near side. Grabbed up by OC. Goes back behind the goal line. Picks that pass off. Warren sends it back down into the corner and around. Goes over to the far side where Charlie sends it back behind the net. OC comes back behind it. Kicks it into the near side corner. Declan's going to pick it up. Sends it out and down. That's an icing being called. Stopping the clock at 3:41 here. North Stars trail by 1. Stanley comes out. Got Gavin, Anthony, Patrick, James. Anthony grabs it, sends it off the boards. Got an arm up. .335. Same lineup for your North Stars. Stanley wins this one. James puts it into the corner. Stanley circles around Stoge coming through center ice. Drops it, or actually no, sends it into the far side corner. Patrick goes up. Comes all the way out and down. That'll be an icing on Warren. 3:11 to go here. North Stars trail by 1. Keeping an eye on that goalie. You want to go live, Mike? See how it plays out because I believe Warren right now is 2-1. We're 3-0, so that would put us tied with Warren, tied with the Chiefs, and then it'll come down to point differentials, I believe. But we've got the higher point differentials. Anthony blocks the outlet back behind the goal line. Grabbed up at the top of the slot. Gavin puts a shot on net, gets paddled over to the far side corner. Stanley battling for it. Comes up the far side wall, kept in. Patrick puts it down on net. Goalie reaches down, covers it up. Stopping the clock at 2:48. It ends up coming in. It gets messy and goes into a 3-way tie between Warren, us, and the Chiefs. It'll go by points, point differential, I believe, from what Aiden was telling me is the first tiebreaker. Stanley at the dot. Warren sends it up out of the zone. Patrick sends it back in. Back behind the net, up the near side wall. Anthony stops it. Sends it back down. James keeps it down, sends it back down to Anthony. Anthony sends it down for a ride along the rails. Stanley behind the net, gets it, trying to get it over towards Anthony. Anthony going to get called for a trip. Warren pushing it through center ice. Shot gets deflected and goes into the far side wall. Warren pushing it back. Lose the handle of it. Warren pushing it up to the blue line. Back in through center. Stopped. Back up to the blue line. Blocker save. .147. Stowe just taking a beating back there on the crease. Anthony goes to the box. Timeout, North Stars. Yeah, so I don't know if you heard, I was talking about the playoff scenarios here. Your North Stars have won 3 games. Warren has won 2, lost 1. Chiefs have lost 1 and won 2, or won 3. So right now we're tied with them. If Warren is by chance able to pull this one out in the last minute and 47 seconds, it'll become a 3-way tie, and I'm not sure what the tiebreaker comes down to advance onto the championship game. We don't want that to happen. We want to win sold out and guarantee our punch our ticket. Team's going to fight hard here. Got Declan, Stanley, James, and OC out there. Going to have to score it shorthanded. Stanley or Declan at the dot, walking it in. Puck down to the goal line, up the near side wall. Warren keeps it in, sends it back behind the net and over to the far side hash marks. Back up to the point. Over the near side. Got to put some pressure on here. Back up to the point. Top of the circle, walking it in. Nope, turns around. Warren is just stalling time here. Blocker save by Stoge, goes over to the far side hash marks, back down behind the goal line. Back up to the near side point. Tipped, kicked away. Back behind the goal line, we're under a minute to go. In through the slot, Stanley sends it out. Declan kicked it away. Warren with the puck, sends it around the too many men being called on Warren. OC getting the penalty, going to the box. Oh no, he's calling too many men on North Stars. Looked like we pulled Stoge off. Called too many men on us. But I thought that Stoge went off. I know Stoge went off though, but you can still put another player out there for Stoge. They called too many men on us. Yeah. I thought it was too many men on Warren, but OC goes to the box. 5-on-3 here. Warren down behind the net. Got 22 seconds to go here in the game. Back down low. Loses the handle of it. Goes over to the far side corner. Jasper puts him into the wall. Back down low again. Top of the slot. In the back of the net. Making the score 6-4 with 6.9 to go. Game misconduct to OC. Aiden comes to the dot. Push to the blue line. Warren's going to pull this one back. Stops, turns around, and that's the end of your game. Hopefully it's not the last time of the season. Should come down to a tiebreaker as to who will play in the championship game next weekend. Frank, the announcer, signing off between the blue lines. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. It was